welcome to another edition of Startup Stories, the monthly chat with entrepreneurs about their journey, challenges, and experiences. We're back today in Studio Start in Leuven in the Naamsestraat, and with an audience that we'll be taking questions from at the end, and people following online. We're streaming live on Facebook. Ask any questions during the chat, and we'll go over them at the end. My name is Rachel. I'm from Leuven Value Network, and today I am talking with Sophia Huybrechts, founder of 3D, spelled D-E-E. Sophia is passionate about marketing and innovation and trying new marketing and communication tools. She graduated in business communication and then worked for a car importer where she was responsible for the dealership and after sales communication in Belgium and Luxembourg before starting 3D. So, Sophia, I'm so glad that you can join us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about 3D and how the business came about?
Sure. So at 3D, we make interactive tours. So it's basically like a virtual tour where we make it possible for you to see an existing location from any mobile phone or mobile device or whenever you want to. But we make it very interactive. So we implement videos to it, text, pictures, and so on, to use it as an onboarding tool, safety tool, product placement, or to boost your sales, for example. Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
And what are you finding as like the competitive edge or the real added value?
Well, before, or actually, I came up with the idea because I used to work for a dealer for a car brand, and so yeah, obviously during Corona, they had to close their showrooms, and so one of my dealers, car dealers, he made a virtual tour of his showroom, and then I was like, okay, so did you get a return on your investment? And yeah, he didn't really like the virtual tour, because basically it just gave you an overview of the showroom, but you didn't know which model it was or which features you could implement and so on. And so this is something we really focus on. Is to really personalize this virtual tour, and to really make it interactive so that people come again on your virtual tour, and not just once, that you can inform people, and yeah, really make it interactive so it's a nice way, user friendly. So this is where we focus on.
Nice, cool. But I mean, it's a big step from working for a car brand, getting this idea to actually starting a company. We say that in just like, oh yeah, I just started this, like it was nothing. But
Yeah.
how do you get there?
Well, yeah. First, it was not the idea to create my own company. So I was looking for a partner who could make a better virtual tour for my car dealers, but I didn't find it. And then I asked my brother to help me to find a partner who could, because he's more techy than I am. And then he came back to me and he was like, "There's nobody here in Belgium that can do it the same way as you wanted to do, but this is everything you need to do it by yourself." And then yeah, I quit my job and I just went for it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, right, I'll do it then.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I really loved my previous job, but yeah, I knew there were no growth opportunities, and that I was ready for something else. So
Right.
I was obviously looking for something else, but yeah, it came at the right moment, and then I just jumped and just did it.
Yeah. And was there something about like being an entrepreneur, or was it this idea specifically?
This idea specifically because actually it's really funny. My both parents are entrepreneurs,
Right.
and I always said, "Oh no, I'm not going to be an entrepreneur." And they were always like, "Oh, what did we do? Where did it went wrong with her?" And then yeah, my brother came with the idea, and I was like, "Okay, this is the moment. This is really the future." And then I just jumped, and yeah, I announced my parents that I was going to create my own company. So yeah.
Wow. And did they help you in then those steps, or were there other people that you pulled in with certain expertise?
Yeah, so my parents obviously played a big role in this entire process. But I was also part of started at KBC. It's a track for startups. And so there were a lot of mentors with a lot of expertise that helped me too. And I think that's one of the most important things for a startup is to really be surrounded by people with expertise and yeah, asking people. It's okay to ask, and you there are more people that want to help you than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Start It KBC project? Like, how does that work? How do you get into it?
Well, so before when I started, I didn't know there were accelerator programs, and so I was talking with a friend of mine, and she was like, "Oh, you have to apply to this accelerator program. I'm a mentor in this program." So obviously, you first you have to fill in an entire questionnaire with I think like 30 questions or something. So it's also a good exercise for yourself to see where are you today and things you have to think about. And then I think a week later or something, you're selected to pitch in front of a jury. I think there are like 10 people in the jury, and then you have to pitch your idea, and you get a lot of questions. And then you get an email that you're in the track or not. We were very lucky; we were in the track.
Right.
And then it's 1 year. So the first 3 months you have a business meeting with your business coach every 2 weeks, and then it's once a month. And then you just talk about your challenges that you're having, things that you're struggling with, people you want to meet, or if they know someone, then if they can open a door for you.
Right. So you get assigned a business coach.
Yeah.
And is that somebody with a specific expertise? Like, how is it matched to your idea?
I'm not sure, but because I had two business coaches,
Yeah.
normally you only get one. But yeah, the first business coaches the first business coach that I got was from Antwerp, and I'm from Antwerp too, so that's why we were matched.
Right.
And the other one, she was specialized in retail. And so this was also a little part where we were going to go with our virtual tours to use it in the retail industry. And so she could obviously help us too.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And can you give an example of like one of the challenges that you had along the way, a specific story and how you overcame that?
Yeah, sure. So when we started, we had a product, but we didn't know wherefore it was going to be used.
Right.
So that was actually a big problem because we thought in the beginning that it was going to be used in the retail industry. But last year, the retail industry was very hot, and people didn't even visit a property; they just bought it. So they didn't really need our our tour, and then we're like, okay, maybe showrooms, because obviously I worked in the car industry, so they used it. But because of Corona, they have a shortage of chips. So
Right.
they only had like 3 cars in their showroom, and then obviously they don't need a virtual tour.
Right.
They also had a lot of secondhand cars, so that was a pity. And then I had to rethink, like, okay, I have this product, but which problem am I solving actually?
Okay.
So I talked with 40 mentors, I think, in started at KBC, and I was like, okay, so which problems are you facing today, and is there a possibility that we can help you with our virtual tours? And then we found actually that there are two big problems, namely the war on talent, obviously, and it's very difficult to hire people, but also to create this emotional connection with them, because in the last round they're like, okay, thank you, but I'm going to choose another employer.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this virtual tour gives you the possibility to already see the business where you're going to work, and your colleagues, the benefits, the growth opportunities, because thanks to testimonials and so on. And the other industry is also the security industry. Because there's only one place, or only one place I know, where you know the security procedures, namely in airplanes. We all know where the emergency exits are, but in businesses we don't. And I was thinking about my previous employers, and I never knew where the emergency exits were.
Yeah, you
How
have sometimes
to
like a little plan somewhere in a
Yeah, indeed.
corner that everybody walks by and doesn't
Indeed,
really pay
nobody
attention
see it.
to.
But then I was thinking, okay, when I used to work for my previous employers, I didn't know it, but that means that if there's fire, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know it, but the people who I'm having a meeting with, they don't know it too. So we're
Mm-hmm.
having a big problem.
Yeah.
And so the interactive tours make it possible for you to see where the emergency exits are, so you can orient yourself in the building. But
Mm-hmm.
you can also see videos and see, for example, if the emergency exit is for everyone, or if you need a badge to exit the emergency exit, or yeah, so on. So those are the two biggest problems that we're solving.
Okay,
Yeah.
lovely. Um, we did a little quiz on Instagram for our followers, and one of the things that we were discussing that we've also seen in studies, we've seen that 73% of entrepreneurs are owned by men. So I'm kind of curious, maybe out of your experience, is there something that you think are holding women back? How can we encourage women to be more entrepreneurial?
Yeah. Actually, for me, it's a kind of a challenging question because I've never seen my gender as something that doesn't give me the opportunity to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
But I've seen people in my environment, and then they have families, so it's quite hard to combine a family with being an entrepreneur. But that's both for men and women, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is to see role models and to see it's possible to be an entrepreneur, and it doesn't matter your age, how old you are, which gender you have,
Mm-hmm.
which cultural background you have, and so on. You just have to go for it if you have a dream, and yeah, just do it.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, that's interesting. Um, it's I imagine a bit of uh, as you said, like it's a product that doesn't have a lot of competition in Belgium, but maybe outside of Belgium. Do you have like a strategical plan just for Belgium, or doesn't matter?
No, obviously we would like to go abroad as well, but
Mm-hmm.
our main focus is in Belgium now. You have to start somewhere, and yeah, we have a client, for example, that asked us to do a project in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
probably. So we're still talking about it, and then obviously we're not going to say that we're not going to do this project because it's abroad. We just need a camera so we can take it everywhere.
Yeah.
But our main focus now is Belgium to first develop it here and then to see opportunities abroad. But first to start here.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And then further, like in the business, what makes you, what helps you in deciding that you've got a good like product marketing fit? How do you continue to bounce that off, like the market, the customers? Are there specific metrics or KPIs that you're using to make sure that it's all working?
Well, I think the most important thing for us is we work together with our customers. So it's really a tailor-made solution that we give them, and
Mm-hmm.
we really talk with them and like, okay, what are your challenges and how can we help you with the virtual tour? And also, once we made one time a virtual tour, we can personalize it several times so that they can use it for different purposes.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing. But I knew our product was really the product and the market fit when I had one of my customers using our virtual tour on a fair, and so she could show her showroom and sell her products, and so she called me 2 days later and she was like, Sophia, I get so many offers I can't follow.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, yeah, this is because of you, because of your hard work, and because you communicated the virtual tour in the right way. And this is, yeah, when she realized that, I'm like, okay, this is the business and the way to do it.
Yeah, that's great news. And
Yeah.
how are you leveraging that, the like the customer feedback and
Yeah, we're always with our customers, always asking their feedback, and there's also a an analytical report
right?
linked to the virtual tour, so we can always see if they're yeah having no if they're how do you say it, if they allee, if they have their KPIs.
Yeah, yeah, if they're reaching their
Yeah, reached.
goals.
That was the word.
All right, no
Yeah,
worries.
yeah.
Cool. Um, are you aware at the moment? Are you busy with like company culture and you know how to do that? Are you busy with it?
Yeah, I'm surely busy with it. Yeah, obviously I'm alone for the moment now. We work together with freelancers, so internally we don't really have a business culture yet.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have it in my mind how I would like, yeah, my employees to feel and so on. But external, yeah, my customers are very important for me, and like I said, we always brainstorm with them, and we're like, okay, what are your challenges, and how can we help you? But we also ask their feedback, and their deadlines are also very important for us. So, for example, we had a project for L'Oreal, and they were like, okay, we need 3 virtual tour by next week. Can you make it for us. And I'm like, okay, if this is your deadline, then we're just going to make it happen.
Okay.
So yeah, if the client requests something, and obviously it needs to be possible. If they had to request us to do it tomorrow, it's a little bit short notice, and it probably wouldn't have been possible. But here, yeah, if the client requests something, then we just make it happen.
Nice. How does the product development work? Like, how are you constantly improving it? Are you doing that yourself, or how's that happening?
It's again based on the feedback of our customers, and also by brainstorming with them. For example, in the beginning, we didn't have the mini map to orient yourself, and we saw it was really a problem because people, yeah, there were huge buildings, and so obviously you had the menu so you could go from one room to another, but you didn't know where it was. So we were like, okay, we have to make a little map to showcase it, and then we spoke with it about it to our customers. Like, is this helpful? Is this what you need? And do your customers use it the way we made it? And they were like, okay, yes, this is the way. And then so it's constantly no, always always by asking their feedback, and yeah, working together with them.
Yeah, nice. And how are you doing then pricing on those new features? Is that just included into it, or is it every time a new?
That depends. It really depends on the feature, and if we see that other companies can use it too, or if it's just a one-time feature. So yeah, we always discuss it together with our customer.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Um, as what, according to you, I feel like you're a very young entrepreneur as well. Are there certain conditions that you think young founders need to be able to, to encourage them to go that route of entrepreneurship, either in society or here in Leuven or their city, financially or other things? Are there conditions that you think?
Well, I think first of all, it doesn't matter whatever you study, but it should be a class that you get in every direction that you study at the university or so on. Because, for example, I studied communication, so I didn't have a financial background at all,
Right.
and then all of a sudden I had to do some accounting. um, and okay, I had economy when I was younger in high school, so I knew the basics. But it's really not enough to create your own company and to know everything you should do. And so I was very happy that there were these accelerator programs. And I think that this is really a major thing that should be communicated more with people, that there are accelerator programs, and the different possibilities for you to start your own company, because there are so many great initiatives.
Yeah.
um, and I've never heard about it before I started as an entrepreneur. So yeah, and also surround yourself by people with expertise in yeah, who have this knowledge, and ask.
Yeah. Cool. Um, knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would do differently?
Definitely. I think every entrepreneur has his ups and downs, and yeah, you learn by making mistakes. And I think the biggest mistake that we made was we had a product, but we didn't know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So market research, obviously, before you do something, just yeah, look for do some research and see if people are waiting for you or not. Talk with your potential customers. Also have some one pagers, and prepare a pitch to explain your product.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely we had a visual product, so it was very difficult for us to explain to someone without showing them what we do.
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, we needed some one pagers where we explain in a few points what we did, so that they can communicate it internally to the other decision makers. Because before that we just sent emails that were very long, not structured at all. And yeah, just ask people what they think about it. They can read it again. Is it clear for them what you're doing, or
Mm-hmm.
not at all? And not just asking your parents, because my parents, they love everything that I do, and they're very supportive, which is great. But sometimes you also need someone that's a little bit tough on you, and
Mm-hmm.
hard, and that dares to say, okay, but what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Or what are you writing here? It's really not clear.
Yeah.
So
It's very atypical because we've talked to various entrepreneurs, and indeed that a lot of them have started from a problem and then have created something that
yeah,
solves that. And you've actually created a product and then looked for.
yeah, indeed. But I would really recommend everyone to look for a problem or to solve a problem instead of having a solution for the problem you don't
Yeah.
know you're going to solve.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
good that you've found
Yeah,
other
indeed,
challenges to
indeed.
solve it. So that's another way of going about it. Would you ever go back to working in a company, do you think, after being an entrepreneur?
Mm, that's also a very hard question, because I think if I would go back, it's like part time because 3D wouldn't work the way I hope it would work.
Mm-hmm.
But for now on, it doesn't it's not a problem, and I don't have to go back to a corporate. So
No,
yeah.
but I mean, after being an entrepreneur and experiencing that, is it?
It will probably be quite hard, because now you have the freedom, you can decide anything you want. Okay, you also have to take every responsibility. If you mess up, it's on your own.
Yeah.
You're on your own. But yeah, never say never. Yeah, for now, I'd say I don't need it. I'm happy
Mm-hmm.
where I am, but you never know.
Yeah. All right. Lovely. I'd like to see if there are any questions coming in on the chat already, or here in the audience. No. Yeah. I'm just going to repeat the question for the people following online. So the question was, how did you deal with like the stress of quitting your job and just starting new and starting from the very, very beginning and getting it going?
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, the stress only came after I quit my job. Before that, I didn't realize what I actually did and what I was going to do. But I'd say, yeah, talking with a lot of people and being surrounded by the ones that believed in me. I had a lot of great friends that supported me, and yeah, even though I just did a small project, they were like, "Oh my God, you did this, and you're doing great," and so on. So your surrounding is very important if you want to keep going. That definitely, yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
No, no, I've never heard about it either. I've applied for funds. Okay, I thought it was the name of an organization. No, but I have two investors who invested in my company. Yeah.
How did
So
you make that decision to do that by growing rather than
yeah,
selling?
for me it was very important that I kind of knew the person, the people that were going to invest in my company, and not some strangers. Also, obviously, with the right experience and expertise. But yeah, for me it was very important also that I got carte blanche to do everything that I wanted to do. Obviously, while talking to them, it's not that I'm
Yeah.
just going to spend $50,000 or euros or anything. But for me, it was important that I could still have the freedom of being an entrepreneur, but with their help financially.
And how did you get in contact with them? How did that
Via
happen?
via.
Just
Yeah,
via the
yeah, yeah.
KBC, maybe?
Yeah, it was in my entourage where I talked to people and yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. What would you say at the moment is the biggest challenge for 3D? What is now like the thing that you're is taking up most of your energy and stress and
God, the biggest challenge. Yeah, obviously sales. To get even more sales. And yeah, finding the right resellers for us to sell our products.
okay.
Yeah.
You've
I-
also made that decision to go that
yeah.
route
Yeah. Yeah.
recently or
Yeah, I'd say in August. That yeah, certainly for everything that's safety related. It's yeah, I don't have this expertise. I mean,
Mhm.
I had a fireman coming over and explaining me all the safety procedures and so on. But I don't feel like I'm an expert. I don't feel safe either to go to a company and say like, okay, your building is safe.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is really not my expertise. So I work together with a partner who is an expert and who can check everything and make sure that everything is really safe.
Yeah, and
So
use your product as part of.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting. And was that also something that you came up with yourself? Was it something that in
I
the
don't really remember how I came up with the idea, but I think it's brainstorming, like, okay, now we have to do every sale individually, but how can we, yeah, scale, and
Yeah.
who can we work together with that has enough expertise? Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Nice. Any other questions over here? Oh, on the screen. Um, is there any quote, sentence, or idea that inspires you to keep growing? What
Well,
inspires you?
actually, my favorite quote is the one of Walt Disney, and it says, "If you can dream it, you can do it." And it's true. If you believe in yourself and in your business, then you should just do it, and go for it. And okay, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least you tried. And dream big. So yeah, this is my
Nice. Good
biggest inspiration.
ones. What do you do when the investor wants equity in your company?
My investors, they have equity in my company.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was also a decision that you made
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
return. All right. How do you see the market demand at the moment?
Actually, since we switched to the onboarding and safety industry or pillar, it's really being very high, the demand. Everyone who we speak with, they're really interested, and we can convert them, so that's positive.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Good
Yeah.
product marketing fit now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Nice. Any other questions still here in the studio? Yeah. So the question is the product exactly as you envisioned it, or does that change along the way? How does that happen?
Yeah, everything changes. Certainly, because we obviously in the beginning we thought it was going to be the real estate industry. And so now that we're using it for onboarding, it's changed a little bit, but I think in a positive way, because for example, for onboarding we were like, okay, we have to implement videos and testimonials, but actually for the real estate industry, it's also important that you show your face as a realtor, and that people know who they're going to speak with, or deal with. And so we also implement these videos for real estate agents. Yeah.
Yeah, in the back.
No, so it's possible to use it with 3D glasses, but actually you can use it on, or you can see everything on your mobile device, your laptop, or anything. And yeah, so you can really see an existing location in an interactive way on any mobile device.
So you kind of just walk through it with your finger,
Yep.
and then you can
Yeah,
click
press on
certain
videos.
things.
Yeah, on text,
Okay.
pictures. Yeah, yeah. I can show you later if you want to. Yeah.
Everyone go and check out 3D. DWE. Okay. Anything else? Nothing's coming on the chat. Yes, another question.
Um,
So,
yeah, so I didn't do it myself. I worked together with someone who developed everything for me, obviously. But then yeah, then we turned break even in April. So
in April this year, and you
yeah,
started?
in September 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah,
That's
thank you.
great. Other questions? No? Yes. The question was, what if the investor has a different vision than you do?
Yeah, I still have the majority, obviously, and in a contract we've also discussed everything. So that's not a problem.
Yeah. And as she said, she found people that are like-minded, that you
Yeah,
do have
indeed.
the same vision.
And it gives me the freedom to do my business how I want to.
Yeah. Was another question? So the question is, are there other networks other than StartUP KBCs that you would recommend for entrepreneurs?
Yes. So I'm now in Voca, the Brio tract, and it's also a very nice network. actually it's very nice. They're also opening a lot of doors, and they know a lot of people. um, then there's also the Startup Huddle in Antwerp. It's also a collaboration between the University of Antwerp and VOCA, I think. Also very interesting. And on a monthly basis, they also have startups talking about their company. And so that's also very handy when you have an idea to talk with these people or about your challenges. And I think those are the first one that would come, on my
I
mind.
have the feeling that once you have like the idea of I'm going to be an entrepreneur, then these things just kind of snowball one after the other. They're indeed not visible maybe before, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
but once you get in there, they are. Or did you find that you still have to look a lot for the information?
Well, you still have to look and to look at it in a critical way too, because there are a lot of things you can do and a lot of things where you can spend money on.
Right.
So you still have to think about everything. But indeed, once you are in this environment and you're networking, you can ask people like, okay, how did you do it? Are you in other programs? Would you recommend other programs? I also thought just about another program IMEC started. That's also a very nice one. I've never been in there, but I know a couple of people who are in this program, and they're very happy with this program. So
Mm-hmm.
that's also something I would recommend. And so yeah, once you're in it, it's very easy to find
Yeah. How do you
things.
do indeed make the decision to spend money on something, whether it be obviously for your company, but as you say, for either mentoring or help?
Yeah, so first of all, for example, if it's an event or something where I have to pay for, then I'm looking if the right audience is going to be there. For example, I once had a company contacting me to do a video of her company and to broadcast it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they told me it was the right audience and so on, but it was on a Saturday at 4 o'clock. So I don't know which entrepreneur is watching TV at 4 o'clock
Yeah.
on a Saturday, but I'm clearly not. And so yeah, this was really not worth my investment. And then obviously you always look at the price as well. If for example, this was $5,000 euros, so I had to think, okay, how many projects do I have to sell to at least make a break even,
Mm-hmm.
which
And
was
how
too
many
high.
will I get out of it?
Indeed, indeed. So that's always for me something that I look at. Okay, how many tours do I have to sell to get my investment back, or how many people can I meet there and open doors for sales? Yeah.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Still nothing online has come through. No? All right, super. Then thank you so much for being here today and talking with us and sharing your experience. I want to thank everyone that joined here live, online as well. Thank you, Studio Start, for the location. And catch us again next month for another episode of Startup Stories. Have a great
And
day.
thank you for the entire team too,
Yes.
and you.
No worries.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's lovely. Thanks.